Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chtib Zhang show. It is episode 30. In this episode, we will be breaking down, well, not breaking down, but talking about the NBA Finals, giving our reactions, talking about the Bucks, what went wrong with the Suns, and then after that, we're going to go into the NHL trade frenzy that's been going on just after the NHL draft. But first, before that, as always, this episode is brought to you by Hot Streak Fantasy, the best in-play fantasy app on the market. Pick 2 to 3 players in the NBA while you're watching your favorite teams and watch them make you some money. Hot Streak is matching your initial deposit as bonus, so get Hot Streak Fantasy app. Now, obviously, the NBA Finals are over. However, the app is expanding. It's going to move into the MLB and NFL really soon. So make sure to download that app if you're a sports fan of any of those leagues. But as always, before we get into the episode, roll it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chtib Zhang show. It is episode 30 of the Chtib Zhang show. Eric, last week we were still trying to determine who was going to win the NBA Finals. We were talking a little Seattle expansion. However, and we were saying last week that next week would be busy, that the NBA Finals would be over. The Seattle expansion happened.
Yeah.
The draft happened, and now there's this frenzy going on of trades afterwards. So we're going to dive in and talk about, I guess we could talk about, what happened in the NHL the past week with the Kraken and all that. But first, let's get the NBA out of the way. Going to talking about the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks win the NBA championship, Bucks in 6, like the fans were chanting. Eric, we both took the Suns. We thought it was going 7 games. I originally had Milwaukee. I said early, I said if Milwaukee made it to the finals that they would win. This is after they beat Brooklyn, I think. And then for some reason, I shifted courses and took the Suns, and Milwaukee won. So I guess that's just karma hitting me back. But let's see what happened. Well, let's talk about what happened in the NBA Finals. The Bucks, obviously Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis, they played really well, all three of them together near the end to close out games. The Suns, it just wasn't there, where Booker and Chris Paul didn't really play his best basketball near the end, turned a lot of balls over, and Booker was having trouble finding success.
That was the main thing. Like
near the end,
it was late. Like Booker, Chris Paul, they showed up, but like not as much as they should have. And on the other side, like it's literally just Giannis showed up every single game.
Yep.
Like literally every single game he went off, which is what they needed. And that is literally just Giannis. Giannis is the reason why Milwaukee won. Like you can go, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, but those are like Giannis. Like realistically, doesn't even have a good number 2 option. Like Chris Middleton, he wasn't even that like usually like a good like every championship team has a good number 2 option. Like Giannis doesn't even have that yet. Like so,
there's an argument to be made.
Yeah, fair. You like Chris Middleton is good, but like you can't be a Kyle Kuzma and then Michael Jordan next game. Like you need that consistency sometimes, and especially if you want to be the second best player on a championship team, like you have to perform. He performed. He had his ups and downs, but man, Giannis, I'm so happy for Giannis. Like even in the beginning of the series, we said like this was gonna be a really tight series. It literally could have gone either way. I thought it was gonna go to Game 7 because that's how tight I thought this series was. I expected Chris Paul to elevate his game even more. He didn't do that really. Like he didn't really pull up in the clutch like he usually does.
Yeah.
And Giannis made his free throws in the last game too, which really affected the game majorly. We were watching that game. I remember Giannis he didn't miss a single free throw, which is or he missed one, but which was ridiculous. I don't know how that happened. So I just want to congratulate Giannis.
Yep.
How his journey, his path to the NBA, everything, his story is like, man, this guy came from nothing, joins the NBA, like he still has nothing, and then just like it's literally just hard work. Like, you can be like, he's 7 foot, but like, bro, there's so many 7-footed. This guy, the dedication he put into the sport, and like not even leaving the Milwaukee. Like he didn't even leave Milwaukee. He's like, okay, I'm gonna do it here in Milwaukee. I'm gonna do it on my own, and he made it happen. So
yeah, a lot of people are discrediting the Milwaukee win, obviously saying that the best players in the other conferences were injured. I think they're talking about, LeBron and AD, and if they were healthy, they probably would have won. And so a lot of people are discrediting, which is kind of ridiculous, right? Because it's hard enough to win an NBA championship,
Exactly.
and then get, let alone you win it, and people are discrediting because the best players at the time were injured in the other conferences. I mean, man, they still beat the Nets, who people had as the NBA championship. James Harden was still healthy. Kevin Durant was still healthy. And then they go and beat the a tough team of the Suns, good defense, great offense. It just, DeAndre Ayton also we could talk about, didn't really pull up near the end. Brook Lopez was really good defensively against him. I guess he quickly learned those 2 games they lost. He adjusted. So, not what we had, but
look, you can talk about injuries all day, but that's literally the NBA playoffs. It happens all the time. Obviously, this year maybe a bit like a higher level, but like don't forget like Toronto when they won, Warriors, Warriors that was in the finals too. Like Warriors team, like the whole like Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, they all got like their 2 biggest stars. At least Milwaukee this season, like Suns had their full team. Like Suns didn't have anyone injured, and Suns deserve to be in the finals realistically. Like. Okay, they beat LA a bit beaten up, but they still beat LA. Like that was a good win. Their Suns were the better team in that series. Swept the Nuggets. Obviously Jamal Murray, but they still swept the Nuggets, and the Nuggets just beat Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers cleanly too. And then goes in the conference final. They beat Clippers. Obviously Kawhi is injured, but you like Suns are a really good team, and they deserve to be in the finals. And Milwaukee deserved to be in the finals too, and they won. So like. You can discredit, but it happens all the time. Like you can't just like. I feel like a lot of people like to discredit Giannis just because they're always like for some reason people never really give Giannis the full credit. Like this guy's a 2-time MVP, the Finals MVP now, championship.
Did he just become the first of? He's like the first to win Most Improved Player.
Yeah, Most Improved Player,
MVP,
Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP,
Finals.
Championship. Something like that, which
it was something crazy. It was like the first ever to do it.
Yeah, well, he worked hard, like bro, and he's a great person too. Like everyone, like I don't know.
Did you see his Instagram stories after?
Yeah, everyone loves Giannis. Like I don't know, like I've always loved Giannis. Like there's nothing bad to say about Giannis. I just feel happy for Giannis for winning his chip, and he thinks like he might win more, and like. Realistically, if he wins more and he keeps like he's 26.
Yep.
Michael Jordan, I think he was 28 when he first won his first one. Mm-hmm. Giannis is 26, already 2 times MVP. He's already a Defense Player of the Year. Hey, he might be top 10 all time one day, but it might happen realistically.
What about power forward? Best power forward?
Right now, I'd say he's either second or third. So it's hard to say because he might never catch up to Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is on another level because Tim Duncan literally did what Giannis did, but times 5. So but on the other side, it's either like for second, it's either Dirk, Karl Malone, or Giannis right now for me. Like Dirk did exactly what Giannis did. He didn't leave, and he won in the finals and against the Miami Heat team. So. It's either Dirk, but Dirk doesn't have he doesn't have the MVPs like Giannis, like he doesn't have the Defense Player of the Years, and then Karl Malone, obviously he doesn't have that one chip, he doesn't have a single chip, right? So that holds Karl Malone back. So I'd say he's probably second or third right now.
Well, yeah, like you said, still a lot of time for him to add on to that career accolades.
Yeah.
For trophies, and I guess we'll see what happens next year. The NBA, a lot of players that missed last season are coming back. Notably, Klay Thompson. For the Golden State Warriors, they're going to be a different team next year. So we'll see Jamal Murray. Hopefully, we'll see when he comes back for the Nuggets. So the NBA, LeBron, AD are going to be back.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with the Nets. A lot of great questions, and we'll see how the league turns out next year. Because
watch out for the Utah Jazz next season too.
Oh my God, the Utah Jazz! Don't even talk about the Utah Jazz.
Don't worry about it.
Until the Utah Jazz find a third option besides like Mike Conley, then we could talk about the Utah Jazz. Until then, there's just another team, just another. They're all talk, Anyway,
Don't worry about it. Keep talking.
the
Yeah, it'll
NBA.
happen. It'll happen.
It looks like that's it for the NBA. We'll see with the free agency coming up and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I know there's already trades going down in the NBA, but we'll talk about that later on in the summer. But let's now move into the main thick of the episode, the big portion of it. Of course, it's the NHL. Last week we were talking about the Kraken.
Yeah.
Now we kind of know the team, how it looks. They decide to take the opposite path of the Vegas Golden Knights, like I predicted, what we both said. I don't know what you said. Forget.
We said they were gonna go young.
Yeah, they went young. Their strongest aspect of their team right now is their decor. Clearly, they chose to have a good defensive system. Their forwards up front look a bit questionable. Yanni Gourde highlights some of their forwards on that list. Carey Price doesn't go to the Kraken; he stays. I think everyone knew that was going to happen.
Did I not say they were gonna draft like some AHL player? I said Vageno, but like really like Kill
You said
Fleury.
Vageno,
I know, but like in my head, like because I remember seeing Kill Fleury in the Laval Rockets, like because they obviously they're not gonna draft. Like I don't know, like usually expansion drafts, like you don't really draft. Like if especially look at the Montreal team, like I didn't really see anyone they draft, and I was like, okay, they're going to Laval Rockets. Like that's how it works.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kill Fleury, a young promising prospect.
Yeah.
Obviously, just didn't fit on the depth chart of the Canadians right now. Currently, with the big four and everything they talk, and Romanov coming up. Yeah. So Seattle, they pick up a young defenseman in Kill Fleury. A lot of promising.
They picked him and his brother too, which is
Hayden Fleury. Which I said, I think, watch out. Him and Jake Bean, I said, watch out for Carolina. Yanni Gourde gets picked from Tampa. They're gritty.
You're probably surprised with that one. I remember we were talking about it. You were talking about his contract.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a good player. I like him. You know, he's a gritty player. He could score. He's that check-in forward out there, so you can create a good check-in line around him that could do some damage, which they did in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought with the direction they were taking and stuff. I mean, they have the cap, so why not take on his contract and everything? It could work out for you in the end. But I just thought Matthew Joseph, he was younger. You know, I thought that's what they would go with. But they take Yanni Gourde. Who else? I'm trying to think. They take Giordano from Calgary.
Donskoy. Donskoy was a really good pick.
I'm trying to think of their decor.
Like they picked Vince Dunn, who was an RFA.
RFA, who they're going to sign.
Like if you think about it, they got a lot of. I was looking at the list. They have a lot of RFAs. Like most of the team, like they have a lot of RFAs. I was very surprised.
Just the one thing I didn't like from Ron Francis was, first of all, there was a lot of picks that were questionable, and he should have gone other ways for sure. I can't think of them on the top of my head, but I did not see a lot of trades from the Kraken. Yeah. Like I saw with George McPhee and the Vegas Golden Knights. Like he took advantage of teams' bad cap situations and then was able to get assets out of it. And I didn't see Seattle do that at all, really.
But they could have done it this year too, because the cap is even worse than before.
Like we'll get into not Carolina, what Arizona's doing. They're becoming the cap eaters, right? That's something I thought that Seattle was going to jump on during the expansion draft. Like remember with Vegas, it was like they got first rounder from the Jets to not draft this guy. They got Riley Smith from the Panthers, and there were other things. But I didn't see that. I didn't see them take advantage. So I was kind of not disappointed because I don't really care. It's not my team, but surprised. I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they took advantage like they could have.
But look how much cap they have now. Like, you can do so. Well, they have a lot of RFAs. That's why. So
they have a lot of RFAs. I don't see them going out and getting Dougie Hamilton. And people are saying like that. I really doubt they go out and get Dougie Hamilton. I don't think they want to put money into a big free agent. But maybe they have to because some of the forwards on their team are like terrible.
Yeah. If Yanni Gourde's your number one center, literally your franchise player right now.
Is he their number one? I forget the team and their picks. Center. I forget their team picks. But yeah, I remember seeing that their forward group or their forward pairings are terrible, but their decor is actually pretty nice, better than a lot of teams in the NHL. And their goalies, who they pick? They
The
picked
Vanacek
Driedger. They signed
and
Vanacek, and did they pick a third? They picked a third. Who's their backup?
Uh, I don't know.
Oh my god, because they didn't take
Um.
what's his face? The guy I wanted them to take. Kakkonen. They
Oh,
didn't
you
take
wanted
Kakkonen.
They didn't take Kakinen.
Who did they take though? Oh, I remember. They took Vanacek, Chris Driedger, and somebody else.
No idea.
Oh.
But
Anyway, it wasn't like it was no one that was going to push like Driedger for starts or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some picks I thought like they should have gone this way, but they decided to go another way. But at the end of the day, they go a complete opposite way of the Vegas Golden Knights. So we'll see how their team builds throughout the years. As we know, Vegas started off hot like they are right now. Eventually, there's going to be a huge decline with them as that core gets older. Yeah. And now we'll see with Seattle how long it takes for them to build a contending team.
Yeah, but look at Seattle. Like they have like Jordan Eberle, Jan York, and
Jordan Eberle,
Yanni Gore first line. It's not a bad first line. Appleton,
Jared that's McCann. A nice pick.
For Jared some McCann, reason, I like Jared McCann. He's my guy. Jonas Donskoy. They got Brendan Tanev, who's a really reliable forward.
Yeah.
Appleton.
Don't know why Pittsburgh let him go.
Yeah.
Don't know.
But Appleton was pretty. It was a pretty like
Jason Appleton was pretty obvious.
Yeah. Jake was like, oh yeah, they're taking Appleton.
Yeah, like come on.
But yeah, other than that,
who else? That's it.
Nathan Bastian.
Who's their decor?
Yeah. So it's Mark Giordano, Alexiak,
Vince Dunn,
Adam Larson, Carson Soucy, and Hayden Fleury.
That's not terrible. That's better. And their goalies?
Chris Driedger, Vanacek, and I can't see the other one. I'm trying to look for it.
Oh, there's not whatever. Anyway. So yeah, they're gonna suck to start. There's gonna be guys that they could try and flip at the deadline, like Mark Giordano, who knows. He's got 1 year left, I think, on his deal or something. Oh yeah. First of all, they didn't take Tarasenko, which they elected to go with Vince Dunn. Really weird. Yeah. I mean, like that's a guy that like will never like. Who knows what the best available player is going to be next expansion draft? You know.
Fair.
Tarasenko,
like don't sleep on Vince Dunn. Vince is a really good, reliable defenseman.
But you had the chance to pick Vladimir Tarasenko, who has 2 years left at a $7.5 million deal. You can afford him, so why not? What's the worst thing that happens? Oh, what's the worst thing that happens? He does. You don't you let him walk in 2 years when if you don't trade him or anything like that.
Or you go with Vince Dunn, who's like 24.
Yeah, but or you lock up Tarasenko, or you trade him for I don't know. I felt like Tarasenko was the pick there.
Okay.
And then Landeskog was a UFA. Don't think they wanted to re-sign him, so of course they let him stay. Carey Price stays with the Montreal Canadiens. His knee surgery, whatever you want to call that, that sudden injury scare. Well, he underwent knee surgery. He'll be ready for training camp. Love that by Carey. Totally finessed the Seattle Kraken. And who else? Yeah, whatever. That team's going to be interesting to watch next year. I'm excited.
So their goals, they got Joy Decord from
from Ottawa. Yeah, so like no one's going to push Driedger for starts.
Yeah, exactly.
For starts. I'm saying starts now.
But Vanacek still like this season he was still pretty good.
I thought Kakkonen. I didn't understand though. Whatever. Why not? Then you have you get the pick from one of them eventually.
Exactly.
Anyway, the Seattle expansion draft happens. The NHL draft happened. Now we can talk about all the NHL trade frenzy that's going on right now.
Yo, it's fun right now. I love it.
Because now you see teams that are trading players, clear up cap, whatever, and there's some nice deals that are pretty one-sided, and we'll go through them. Yeah. I took some of the major deals because there's a lot of deals I was talking about of players going to teams for cap, to save cap, so whatever. But we'll see some big trades like that here. But there's other ones like Anton Strawman, whatever, or anything like that I didn't keep in. So first trade I saw or I wrote down was one of the biggest ones, I think. And the earliest one was the Vancouver and Coyotes. They traded, this was Oliver Ekman-Larsson going to Vancouver and Connor Garland. And Coyotes pick up Jay Beagle, Louis Eriksson, Antoine Roussel, the first round pick that became Dylan Guenther, 2022 second rounder, and a 2023 seventh rounder. So, like I said, the Coyotes are using their cap situation to their advantage. They're picking up bad contracts and getting assets. And Vancouver, this one's a bit puzzling, Eric. Very kind of puzzling. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. They get Oliver Ekman-Larsson. They get Connor Garland, which is good. I like Connor Garland. They re-signed him too. I think he's going to be a good player for them in Vancouver. However, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is very much declining in his career. His underlying numbers are declining. His offensive numbers are declining. He carries a 6-year deal at $7.26 million a year. And I don't know. At first, Jim Benning put himself in a good situation, getting rid of Jay Beagle, Eriksson, Antoine Roussel, who all have 1 year left. They're all overpaid, but all have 1 year left, so it's not bad for the Coyotes. However, Vancouver, they're trading them. Their cap situation looked good, that they could use to re-sign this young core that they have and contend, and then they add Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who just kind of takes away that free space that they just got, because he has a pretty hefty 7.26 for still 6 more seasons.
Well, don't forget, they retained some money.
Well, yeah, they retained 12%.
Yeah, exactly.
12%. You can do the math on that. Obviously, it's not 7.26.
It was 8.25. I have it right here. Yeah.
So it was originally 8.25?
Yeah, but then they retained $990K.
Is that what it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, 7.26, still a lot. Still a lot. It's going to really affect them down the road when all these young guys on their team become free agents, I really think. So, I don't know. At first, it might look good. Ooh, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, shiny. And then you might ask yourself, like, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, why did they draft it? Why did they get this guy? I mean, his defensive numbers are declining, and you already have a power play guy in Quinn Hughes on the power play to quarterback it, because that's what Ekman-Larsson does pretty well, is quarterbacking power plays and stuff like that. But you already have a guy like that, so I don't know. It's just it might make them better at first.
But don't forget, he's been one of the most consistent defenders over the last 6-7 years. He's always he's 40 points, but now pretty good defensively.
But not anymore. His numbers are declining a bit,
and he still had 6 years. It's kind of tough. I feel like Coyotes, they're going in completely other direction. They're kind of trying to rebuild right now. And they got that 9th overall pick,
Dylan Guenther, who's really good. Who could have been a top 3 pick. They're saying people.
Yeah. So but don't forget, Vancouver, but don't forget, this is the same team that signed Louis Eriksson to that terrible, and now they're just getting that was such a bad contract. Now
but listen, but Louis Eriksson was 1 year left.
Yeah, he has 1 year left. But I'm just saying, before that, they had him for 5 years.
Oh my God, Jim Benning's terrible when it comes to UFA signings.
Yeah,
he's great at drafting. He makes pretty solid trades. He's been terrible, though, signing free agents. His RFA sign has been pretty good. And, Connor Garland's good. I just don't think it's, it's still worth taking on Oliver Ekman-Larsson's big deal. Okay, it's going to hurt them. I guarantee you it's going to hurt them. Fans are going to be regretting this trade. But at first, it might help them, might be better to contend. I think that's what they're hoping for. But to get a guy like Oliver Ekman-Larsson for 6 more years, I don't know.
But how often do we see that, these kind of like Weber, because they're starting to get older and they get signed to these 8 big contracts, and it almost never you can tell about. I know Ryan Suter is probably
when he signed Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Pretty I think it was 1 or 2. It was pretty recent. It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
I think he was on an 8-year contract, so it was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. And 2 years is a lot though.
But
how
still,
Arizona signed him.
2 years and it's already a bad contract. Weber too. Weber, everyone you could tell is going to be.
Because the cap space with all the cap constraints and stuff is in the NHL and staying under the cap and stuff like that. Taking on big contracts is could hurt your team. One big contract will hurt the future of your team down the road. So we'll see. I think it's great for the Coyotes. Because they're being smart with their situation and they're taking advantage. Vancouver, I don't know. I give the Coyotes the win on this trade for me. That's what I think. So moving down the next, the Blues And the Rangers try and free up cap space. They trade Pavel Buchnevich to the St. Louis Blues for Sammy Blais,
Yeah.
and a second rounder next season, 2022. So clearly, this is a bit of a one-sided one again. Rangers, they're clearly trying to clear some cap space for Jack Eichel. They trade one of their young, promising players, which was weird. 26 years old. He's an RFA, Pavel Buchnevich. Clearly, the Rangers didn't want to re-sign him. He goes to St. Louis, re-signs 4 years, $5.8 million. I still think Pavel Buchnevich is gonna, he's only trending up right now, right? So
exactly,
young player, still 26.
5.8. Like
5.8.
if he's only asked for 5, like this was a guy that was almost a point per game. Remember you gave him to me in fans. Like this guy was killing it for me. Like he put some numbers, and to me he kind of fit in like the team that Rangers like, Panarin, Ryan Strome, like Zibanejad they're a similar age group, right? So it's
young core.
So they go for Sammy Blais, someone. I don't know if you remember, like it's always Shoes always threw him in every single trade. Sammy Blais, who wants Sammy Blais?
Sammy Blais, whatever. Bottom 6 player for them, for the Rangers. The thing that makes zero sense is that clearly the Rangers are pretty much obviously trying to go for Jack Eichel, trying to get a deal going, and they're trying to clear up cap space. But like that, you wouldn't have to have traded Pavel Buchnevich if you wanted Eichel if you didn't overpay for Barclay Goodrow. Because they traded for Barclay Goodrow, just got him and signed him to like a 6-year deal. I forget what the AAV is, but they overpaid for him. So that's another big contract for a guy who, thrived in Tampa Bay, sure, on a checking line. We'll see what happens in the Rangers, but yeah, just a puzzling move. You trade for Barclay Goodrow. You say you want to go for Jack Eichel, then you sign this guy long term, and then you realize, oh crap, we have no cap space now. Down like our future UFAs and RFAs coming up, we can't sign them. So let's trade Pavel Buchnevich. I don't know. I think the Rangers kind of messed up on this one.
But if you look at it like this, like I was seeing some of these trades, like Buffalo's not even asking for that much for Eichel, who's like one of the superstars. Like
what are they asking for?
Like I saw one of the trades that fell through. It was like
it got rejected. Really?
Yeah. I think it was. I'm hearing the Buffalo ask for Eichel from Vegas is Smith, Peyton Krebs, Nick Hague, and a first rounder.
What?
Which is like to me, it sounds like nothing.
Like Nick Krebs is like, isn't he a young promising prospect?
Peyton Krebs and then Nick Hague.
Yeah, and a first round. Nick Hague is a young defenseman too.
Yeah, a first rounder. And Riley Smith. Like to me,
I would do that.
Like I don't know. I feel like I'd ask.
Like I don't know.
Eichel,
I'm not a Vegas fan, but like, is that not a good trade? I know Peyton Krebs is a young prospect, right?
Yeah,
a really good prospect. But man, it's not like imagine you put Jack Eichel right away. You're throwing him on that first line with Max Pacioretty, Mark Stone.
Like,
you lose Smith, but you just replace another right winger there.
Yeah, to me, like Eichel is a 90-point player. Like in 82, like 90 to 100. Like,
are you sure that's factual? Who's that like confirmed by? Is this Instagram?
Ryan Kennedy.
Ryan Kennedy. I don't know. You never trust a Kennedy. Nothing ever good happens to the Kennedy.
He's verified.
Verified. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Anyway, if that's really what the asking price, and they decline that. Vegas?
No, I don't know. I'm looking at the comments and everyone's like, "Yo, Ryan Kennedy, we don't trust you."
Do we trust Ryan? Because that sounds insane. That sounds like Vegas is an idiot.
But to me, even anything near that is still sounds insane. Like I'd be asking.
I doubt that's the asking price. Oh my god, it's got to be insane. The asking price. Apparently there's a deal coming soon with Jack Eichel, which is obviously going to happen. I figured it was going to happen a lot sooner. I thought it was going to either happen on draft night or during these days. It hasn't happened yet. So, they've almost had like a year now, Buffalo, to figure this out, figure out a trade partner. So I heard that Eichel's camp has went public and said that a deal is going to happen soon in the near future. So that's going to be very interesting. See where he goes. I think he goes west, maybe LA. I don't know. I hear Boston's interested, New York now too. Every team is interested.
Apparently, but Montreal,
he's available. Yeah, I doubt that. That's all fairy dust. There's no chance. First of all, what? Who's going to go the other way? Nick Suzuki? I'm not trading Suzuki. No, I'm not trading
It's
Nick
either
Suzuki.
Suzuki or Caulfield.
I'll trade Kotkaniemi. Yeah, like I'm not trading Caulfield. I'm not trading Suzuki. That duo is going to be insane. So I'm not touching them for 10 and whatever he makes 10.5. I think Jack Eichel. That would just ruin your cap situation. I feel like. Anyway, next trade: Panthers Sabres. Panthers get Sam Reinhart from the Buffalo Sabres for a 2022 first rounder and Devin Levi.
Levy. It's our boy. It's our boy from West.
Yeah. Played for Montreal, Team Canada, World Juniors. Yeah. Eric, this is puzzling for the Sabres. Obviously, I feel like they got an underwhelming return. I mean, you got a player like Sam Reinhart. Oh, yeah. Sam Reinhart. This is great for the Great trade for the Panthers.
Forget, he's an RFA. Don't forget, he's an RFA, though.
Yeah, so what? He'll get signed, but it doesn't matter. I'm saying, though, they could have got way more, I feel like. Is he an RFA?
Yeah, he is. 100%.
Sam Reinhart. So, anyway, because I'm seeing some of the stuff, some of the trades that have gone down, like the Flyers, what they got for Ristolainen, they got a lot more than they did for Sam Reinhart.
Yeah.
Which made no sense. I don't know. Sam Reinhart's he's going to be a great top 6 forward for the Panthers. Exactly what they needed. He's still a good player. He's still like a 65-point player, I feel like. 60-point player, easy, Sam Reinhart.
Easy,
and obviously he was playing with Jack Eichel, and we'll see what happens. But even without Jack Eichel, he was producing. So,
but how many times is Buffalo going to rebuild? Like
every year.
They're rebuilding.
That's every year. Like, Jack Eichel's going to get traded, and they're going to be stuck in another rebuild.
Like, because the thing is, right now, Jack
Eichel. A rebuild inside a rebuild.
Jack Eichel is like what? He's like 24, 25. Sam Reinhart was 25.
2015, so right?
Yeah, so they're around 25. Like McDavid is 25. I know that. Yeah. So it's like, it's so weird because when they drafted Eichel, it's like, okay, the rebuild finally like starting. Now he's what 6 years later, they're rebuilding. Remember our video on Buffalo? We made an entire video on Buffalo. Just shitting on them,
and it's gonna continue. A rebuild inside a rebuild. Inception rebuild. I mean,
I feel bad for Dahlin and Levy right now.
Dahlin and now Owen Power too. Is he going back to Michigan or what? Save himself a season?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. They got what's his face, Dylan Cousins, who now will become their best player. Not best player, but best promising player. They got Middlestat.
Middlestat's okay, but like
he kind of hasn't really proven.
Look how many
himself.
first rounders they've gotten. They're all like top 5, top. Like they get such high picks every year, and you're like, oh, this is it.
I don't know. Every time, if you're gonna fire a GM every year and fire a coach every year, it's gonna make it kind of hard. Yeah. When you don't give people some time. And obviously there was, they made the right choices firing some people. But this is bad. They're bad in Buffalo. Terrible. They're not going to be competitive, the Sabres, at all next year and for the coming future once they trade Jack Eichel. So,
when they signed Taylor Hall, I mean, like they started looking good. I was like, okay, this is a good
1 year. Yeah.
But come on.
I still didn't think they were going to make the playoffs, Buffalo, that year, because that was still one of the toughest divisions, but at least be competitive.
Yeah.
And now in the Atlantic, like there's no freaking chance they make the playoffs at all for years to come because that's just the management. Inception. Moving on.
Exactly.
Flyers, Blue Jackets, 1-for-1. Cam Atkinson, Jakub Voracek going the other way. Yeah, I mean this is Flyers clearly want to, save some cap space. They trade Jakub Voracek, who has 3 years still on an 8.25 deal. Cam Atkinson has 4 years, 5.8 million. They're both 32. I guess, we'll see how this trade plays out. I guess you can give the Flyers the edge here because they get a player who has 1 year more and a cheaper deal. And Voracek goes to the Blue Jackets. Clearly, I think Blue Jackets are trying to find a winger for Line A, I'm guessing. Or maybe this guy goes on the second line because Line A still haven't found his first line center.
Yeah.
Columbus still waiting to acquire that first line center. So who knows where Voracek's going to go? Maybe the second line with Domi. Maybe the first line, put him with Line A and that center we'll see. He's a setup man. He's a playmaker, Voracek. So hopefully, this is going to keep Line A happy on the power
But it's the
play.
end of an era for
Oh yeah,
Voracek. To
Voracek
me,
and
he's always
Philly,
been
a Flyer.
it's like he's always been a Philly guy. Like him and Giroux, it's like just Philly. So like it's kind of sad to see him go.
Yep. He has a big deal. I thought when I heard they were 32, I was surprised. I
Yeah,
thought
because Cam
Voracek was
Atkinson,
older.
yeah,
Cam
because
Atkinson's
Cam Atkinson just
32.
popped off like what 4 or 5 years ago. He
Yeah,
had
but
that
he's been in
40
the
goal
league.
season.
He's
Yeah,
been in the league forever. So yeah, less. He has less money on his deal. So Flyers they save about what 2.4 million, I'd say. I think that's it. Yeah,
fair.
$2.4 million on this deal or something. Yeah, I think I'm doing my math right. Yeah. So time will tell what happens. Hopefully Cam Atkinson playing with some good centermen in Philly. He can get his game going, and then Voracek, he could still play, no doubt in my mind, and he'll get a lot of opportunity in Columbus to do that. Moving on, we stay with the Flyers and the Sabres again. Rasmus Ristolainen gets traded to the Philadelphia Flyers for Robert Hagg, a 2021 first rounder, and a 2023 second rounder back to the Sabres. See, now this is a trade I finally like by the Sabres.
Yeah,
Finally, a good trade by them. They actually get a good return for Ristolainen, who has only 1 year left on a $5.4 million deal. So they get a good return for a guy like Ristolainen, who has clearly underperformed now recently. Still young, but has for now a couple years now underperformed on a 1 year deal only. So this is the type of thing I expected them to get for a player like Sam Reinhart. Robert Hagg was playing third line pairing in Philly. He's a reliable D man, so he'll be one of Buffalo's top defenders probably maybe when it comes to playing defense, because we'll see what Dahlin does. They get a first rounder and a second rounder. Philly, they pick up Ristolainen and Ellis. That's the D they pick up. Listen, Ristolainen, still young. We'll see what kind of upside there is playing in Philadelphia. He is a two-time 40-point player, Ristolainen, right? So he could put the puck in the net. Obviously, now the couple seasons in Buffalo, he's struggled. His numbers defensively have been piss poor. So, I still like him though, because he's a big defensive player.
Yeah.
He's physical, and he's young. So, still time. Hopefully, the coaching staff, Alain Vigneault, whoever was it the defensive coach, Michel Therrien? No, it can't be. Oh, maybe. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens there. Might come back and backfire, because Robert Hagg was a reliable, right? Nothing bad in Philly. He was reliable. So I think Flyers are just trying to switch it up and get a bigger, that physical aspect to their game that their decor was missing for a while. So moving on, we see the Wings and the Hurricanes. Eric, the Wings commit highway robbery, picking Alex Nedeljkovic, Aaron, and Jonathan Bernier goes the other way for the Hurricanes. He's a UFA, Jonathan Bernier, and a 2020 first third rounder. So this was weird. This is really puzzling.
So weird.
Even Steve Yzerman pretty much sat out and said, like, listen, you pretty much have to ask him what the hell they were thinking doing it. Yeah. Smoking that, stay off the weed, Eric. That ganja shit. Someone was lighting up in Carolina because
it doesn't make sense at all. Like, I'm still trying to understand what Carolina, like, you can't be like, oh, it's a salary, like there's no salary dump here. There's
salary.
There's no Jonathan Bernier like 32 now. Like, but,
listen, I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
Alex Nedeljkovic. I think that's it. I think I said it right there.
I think you did.
Anyway, Nedeljkovic. I'm going with that. That's not Nadel. Isn't it Nedeljkovic? Anyway. Yeah. Nedeljkovic.
Just go on.
Was coming off a Calder year, right? He was up for the Calder Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Played really good in Carolina. Actually got a few starts in the playoffs for them too.
Yeah, 9 starts.
Did he start? He started every game, right? Did he?
9. Yeah, I think that's every game.
Or did what's his face start at all? Peter Mrazek, maybe, I forget.
No, but I saw he played 9 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Wings pick him up for basically nothing, and they sign him to a 2-year, $3 million deal. So I had no clue. Obviously, the Hurricanes didn't want to pay Nedeljkovic, the free agent, he was
million,
RFA. But that's what I'm saying. It's 3
3
million.
million.
A modest contract. You couldn't pay him to a modest contract. You couldn't afford that. Are you kidding
This
me?
guy had a 932 goals against.
This makes no sense. There's nothing wrong with having too many good goaltenders on your roster. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know why they couldn't keep Nedeljkovic. They'd have Bernier's a UFA. Not Bernier. Yeah, Mrazek, Reimer. You could have had Nedeljkovic and worked around the three of them. You could have done it. Don't know what the Hurricanes are thinking. Obviously, they want to clear some cap space. Jonathan Bernier is a UFA, so they're not going to re-sign him. They're just going to keep Reimer and Peter Mrazek together like they did in 2019, 2020. Yeah, 2020. And they get, I don't know. Weird, man. Very, very weird.
Because they drafted this guy in 2014 with like a 30-something pick, okay?
Yeah.
So, okay, which is pretty high for a goalie. Goalies around 20, it takes, like, they're around 24, 25 when they're in their, like, when they start playing.
Yeah.
Perfect. He's 25, right? He has a really good season. And then you trade him for what, a third-round pick? Like, it doesn't
basically
make sense. And it's not a money issue. Like, you can sign this guy to $3 million. You have $3 million.
Of course. It's a modest deal. I mean, that's a great deal for Yzerman and the Red Wings.
Peter Mrazek's already 29. Like, I don't know if Peter Mrazek, he's already like, he's not gonna get better than this. Like, Peter Mrazek's like a good average goalie.
Like, Carolina's a good team, and Peter Mrazek's good enough to win them games.
Yeah.
But this guy was a young, promising goalie that could have been the future of your goalie duo tandem for I don't know, 10 years or something like that. Whatever. I don't know. It's a very strange deal.
Yeah.
The Wings, that's going to be Nedeljkovic now. This is going to speed up the Everlong.
Whoa. It's not that long. 5, 6 years. Come on.
Whatever. Blashill's still the coach, so that's how long it's been. If that guy's still the coach of Detroit, I mean, nothing wrong with Joe Blashill. I love how they keep resigning him. I always think eventually they might move on from him. But they're like, sign him again. Just run him through the garden.
I don't understand, like, because this guy won one time he won in the AHL once with the Grand Rapid Griffins. Won once, and that's the only thing they hold on to. Every time I hear an argument, it's like, oh, he won before. This guy won once.
Maybe it's the players that like him. Like, we'll see. I mean, Detroit's not competitive, and I think the management expect that. So nothing. They're not going to blame it on him.
Every year, it's an excuse every year. Or our team sucks, but fair though. It's fair.
But now the team is this goalie trade that they just swung has fastly accelerated. Thank you. Accelerated their rebuild process by a lot.
Yeah,
by a lot. So
I'm excited for the
Detroit. I thought Detroit would. I don't know how much cap they had, but I thought they'd be like the Coyotes. I see them a little. I thought they'd take advantage a lot of with their cap space.
We did that with Nick Leddy.
But I thought there'd be a lot more because I feel like they have a lot of cap space, Detroit.
Oh, we have so much.
That's what I'm saying. So I figured they were going to take more advantage. Anyway, whatever they got. I like the trade. They got a really good goaltender in the end. So Steve Yzerman clearly is insane as a general manager in the NHL. I mean, he's proven it. Moving on, we go some minor deals here. I just put the Jets and the Capitals. They get Brendan Dillon and the Caps get 2 second-round picks, 2022, 2023. Dillon has 3 years left on his $3.9 million deal. This is a good move, I'd say, for the Winnipeg Jets. They add some physicality to their decor. It makes them automatic. Their decor is looking much better than it did last year now with Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt Nate Schmidt got traded too with the Canucks. They get a third rounder of the Canucks, which this is kind of crazy. Like Nate Schmidt, let's talk about Dillon first. Dillon, his numbers have been great. Washington, he was great. He's going to be playing top 4 minutes in Winnipeg. So this was a much needed deal by the Jets. $3.9 million, not a big bargain for a defenseman. This is the big bargain, was picking up Nate Schmidt, who has 4 years left. Nearly $6 million, 5.95. Yeah. I thought there was going to be some salary retained or something, but I feel like that's a hefty contract to pick up, especially for the Jets. 4 years, $5.95 million. I don't know. Nate Schmidt has been a 40-point player before. He can move the puck, he can skate well, but I feel like Winnipeg has a lot of those players already. I thought they would pick up, I don't know. He's a physical guy, I guess, Nate Schmidt,
Yeah.
you know? I just figured they get someone else. 5.95. I don't know. I don't like it, I feel like. I'm getting the sense where I don't like it. No, not really. That seems like a bit much for a guy like Nate Schmidt. Nearly $6 million. Is like last year Vancouver sucked. He was great in Vegas. I won't lie. Great in Vegas. Went to Vancouver and I expected him to suck there, and he sucked there. So we'll see. Hopefully it wasn't an environment thing and a team success thing where he was on Vegas and, the team was thriving that inaugural year, and he was just having a good season, because in Vancouver he was crap.
Yeah, he was
Like
bad.
when I was watching Montreal play, then Montreal was just bullying up on him in the corners and stuff. So hopefully Kevin Shavadeoff, or whatever that freaking guy's last name, knows what he's doing, because 5.95, that's a lot in my opinion for Nate Schmidt. I don't know.
Fair.
That's what I think. And Vegas Blackhawks swap Marc-Andre Fleury. Fleury might freaking retire. This guy might freaking might retire.
Been getting dogged.
First of all, gets dogged when they pick up Leonard.
Yeah.
Everyone thought this guy was going to be the backup. Drops in fantasy like crazy. Someone drafts him, and he's instantly the best goalie in the league.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then they don't tell Fleury that they're going to trade him. He has to find out through Twitter that he was traded to the Blackhawks, and then goes immediately and says, "I'm not playing for Chicago. I have no interest in leaving Vegas. So figure it out." Anyway, he probably has to figure it out, because I don't know. Who knows? This guy might retire from hockey.
But who's the guy they traded him for? Like ECHL player?
You want to listen? I did every trade on this paper. Put all the players. Put deals. Put their age. Whatever. When it came to that trade, I put a question mark for Vegas, because I have no freaking clue who that guy is. And I was like, this means nothing. This was just a cap dump. So these players aren't important. So I don't even have to mention their name. It's like I feel like it's that guy in the NBA draft who gets picked last, because nobody mentions his name.
Yeah, literally.
That's how I see it. I mean, it was a cap dunk. Those players will never play for Vegas, probably dress up for them. So, yeah, who knows what's going to happen with Marc-Andre Fleury? If this is the way it's gonna, if this is the way his career ends, it's a tough way to watch it go. Hall of Fame career for sure, first ballot.
Yeah.
But
like, he's 36. He's still good though. Like,
he came off one of his best seasons ever at 35.
Did he not win? Yeah, he won the Vezina this season.
Didn't he also not come? Did he not come off a career season? Some of his numbers.
No, ridiculous season. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's gonna be. He could still definitely play in the NHL, and I think teams will know that.
He literally made one mistake, just one. Mistake.
But no. I knew they were gonna train right away. This guy is $7. They were not gonna keep him for another year at $7 million. That frees up cap for Vegas. But man, Fleury has no interest in moving to another city. He says no interest.
So what's gonna happen now? Is just
I don't know. Maybe I think.
Go back to Pittsburgh. They need him.
I don't know. Maybe we trade Carey and his contract away, and then pull in Fleury, make Blackhawks retain salary. Actually, we'd make him retain all the salary. No. Comes to Chicago. Comes to Montreal. And
as a backup.
We take on his whole contract, but Chicago gives us like a first rounder. I don't know. What happens if a player retires? Their contract goes away, right? They don't eat it. It doesn't eat up on their cap.
No. You have to do.
I know you pay them.
I forgot what it is, but I forgot. I think you still have to pay. Yeah. I don't think it's on the cap, but you still have to pay him, something like that.
Anyway, who knows what's gonna happen? Yeah. It's so tough, so sad, so dirty, so Shane-like. Anyway. That's really what I had. That's all my trades.
Okay, are we gonna talk about Philip Deneau? I don't know.
Oh yeah. We can talk about Armia re-signed. With Armia Montreal, 4 years. Didn't think it was gonna be that long. 4-year deal, $3.4 million. So a little bit more than I projected that he gets signed, but it's free agency at the end. Armia only had 7 goals, 7 assists in whatever games he played this season. Montreal obviously didn't produce during the regular season. Was great in the playoffs. He proved in the playoffs what kind of player he could be.
Yeah.
But Armia, is very inconsistent. as we know. He's very up and down. Some nights he'll be great, just how he checks, how he plays defensively, his takeaways, and then other nights he's just totally anonymous out there, just totally like clueless. You don't see him, you don't notice him much. But now with Shea Weber maybe never returning to the ice, because he has his foot injuries now, who have been troubling him in Montreal. He is on IR. He's not playing next season, and Marc Bergevin said he expects him to never play again, most likely. So that's going to be a lot of money off the books for us. Carey price stays still, so no, still $10.5 million we have to fucking pay. But Armia now 3.4. We still have Kotkaniemi to pay and Arturi Lehkonen. So they'll all get re-signed now with the cap. We have $15 million in cap space.
No,
Danault. Yeah, listen.
He's gone already? No.
Phil Danault. Apparently, I'm getting reports that Montreal and Phil might not happen, and Phil Danault's looking for like a 6-year deal, $5.5 million, whatever. You know, cahoots to the GM who wants to go and overpay for Phil Danault. Go ahead, because his best fit, in my opinion, is playing for the Montreal Canadiens. There is no way a team is going to sign Phil Danault to be a top center. Not with those offensive numbers.
Bro, I'm hearing he's going to Vegas. That's not what I'm hearing.
Vegas?
According to George Larac. Wait, what? According to George Larac, former Montreal Canadiens center, Philip Danault will be signing with the Vegas Golden Knights. It's according
Where'd you see that? Is this like on Twitter?
No, on Instagram. I think it's accurate though.
Are you? If he signs with no. Vegas is another. That's like Vegas could work because he could play with Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty, and that would be great. But whatever, George, never heard of that. Okay, George Larac, that's crazy. That's like the first thing I've ever heard come out of George Larac's mouth when it comes to Hockey Insider.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe he called him up or something.
Bro, I have to get more reliable news like this hockey news
because you're on Instagram, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you gotta go. You gotta go to Twitter. You gotta go look for the blue checks on Twitter. Yeah. But Phil Danault, I don't know. You want to sign him to be your first line center? Not many teams in the league can sign him to be your first line center. Vegas, maybe. Montreal, it seems like is his best fit. But listen, I'm not going to overpay, and Marc Bergevin knows he's not going to overpay for Phil Danault. And if Phil Danault doesn't want low term and he wants more term, I'm not going to overpay for him. And if that's the way the relationship ends, that's the way. Montreal will pick up or try and, sign a center who does the exact same thing as Phil Danault.
Well, I don't want to cut you off here, but I feel like we missed one of the biggest trades that happened. The Seth Jones trade. We didn't even talk about it. Oh,
yeah. Seth Jones. Yeah. Seth Jones' overpayment.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't write it down, but it was Seth Jones and Columbus. Columbus gets Adam Boqvist, a young, promising prospect.
Yeah.
Chicago gets Seth Jones. Who else? It's Boqvist, first rounder. Well, I forget. But anyway, and then Chicago
9.5
decided to sign him for 7 years at $9.5 million.
Yeah.
He's now like the third highest paid defenseman at his position. That's insane. 9.5. Yeah. That's not going to make Chicago better. You think that trade makes you better? You trade Adam Boqvist, a young, promising, like, what was going on? Chicago wasn't trending up. You guys weren't trending up. It's fine. Jonathan Tate's going to come back, whatever. It doesn't make your team better with Seth Jones.
But don't forget, Seth Jones is one of the, like, to me, he's still one of the best defensemen in the league. He's so reliable. Like, he's so good.
Yeah, but even the trade was an overpayment. I'm not trading Adam Boqvist ever for Seth Jones. Like, Boqvist is promising, man. He's a promising defenseman.
Yeah.
A skilled, silky, smooth defenseman. But I don't know. It was him and a first rounder, right? That's basically 2 first rounders.
I'm trying to find it, yeah.
And then they signed him to a $9.5 million deal. Bit of an overpayment for Seth Jones. This could be good for a lot of D-men. This could be good for Dougie Hamilton. We'll see. Seth Jones, obviously, he I don't know. I don't get it. $9.5 million, man.
Yeah, so it was Seth Jones and a first-round pick and a 6th-round pick to Chicago for Adam Boqvist, a first-round pick this year, a 2nd-round pick this year, and a first-round pick next year.
Wait, so Chicago got a first-round pick?
Yeah, 1 first-round pick.
What year?
this year.
And the first round pick for Columbus is this year too.
Yeah.
So they
And
just swapped.
They have 2, yeah.
Wait, they got 2 first round picks from that too?
Yeah, 2 first-round pick, Adam Bogvis, and a second-round pick.
Oh, they got Adam Bokvis and 2 first round picks. Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So they swapped their picks in this year's draft. Who had a higher pick? Chicago? No. Columbus? I forget who had the
I
higher
don't
pick.
remember. But like,
But still, 9.5 is definitely an overpayment. Like that doesn't make Chicago better whatsoever.
and we even talked about it, like defensemen. Like, okay, OEL, he looks so good. They signed the deal, but like, I know Seth Jones is not that age yet, but still, like 9.5 for a defenseman. I've never seen
And
a
you still have
defenseman.
Kane and freaking Tays on the
Yeah,
books.
yeah, and they have and they're aging too.
Like now you're
Like,
stuck in that cap situation again.
fair. It's tough, but don't forget Jones, 26 years old. He to me he's like a 50-point defenseman, very very solid defenseman, minute eater. Like,
So, I mean, he better freaking play next. He better play really well next year. Like really, he better return to his like 2017, 2018 Columbus. He better return to that player he once was, because the Columbus player from last year and the year before that, numbers weren't really good. Defensively, offensively last year they weren't really good. And there's a lot of players this year who have struggled, who are good, and who have struggled, like OEL and many others. And so we'll see.
but I can't see this contract really going well because
Nope.
Seth Jones,
7
he
years.
had a bit of an off, like not an off, like
Oh yeah,
he had an
definitely
okay
off-season.
season.
Oh, he was terrible. If you look at stats wise, you want to talk about stats?
Yeah.
Defensively, he was terrible last year.
But exactly, and what you signed him at 9.5? He's 26. If you look at Drew Doughty when he signed, like all these Erik Karlsson, they've never been worse. Like they just got worse. Like every time you sign these defensemen to these huge contracts, for some reason they just get worse. Like there's not really.
Yeah.
If you look at it, like all the best defensemen in the league, that you sign them a big contract, like they don't really perform to that contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, well, yeah, because it makes sense though. These guys are getting locked up old. There's going to only be a select few years where they're going to play like their contract tells them, right? At the end of the
especially,
day, you're trying, like Pietrangelo has $9 million. He's like 30 something. It's 8-7 year deal. Eventually, that's going to look bad.
Oh, he's going to look
much older. We'll see though. But yeah, no, that tends to happen. Defensemen, when they're 30, they hit the open market. They try and lock up their last deal, 7 years, and they get big money. And yeah, they make it till they're 37, whatever. That's just how the game works, you know? That's how it works. They have leverage at the end of the day for you. But 9.5, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you traded a lot to get him. Like I don't believe all this makes them better. No.
Yeah. Columbus definitely won this trade.
Columbus for sure. Oh my God. Adam Bokvis is
he's
so
gross
good.
Too, yeah.
So good.
Such a good puck moving defense.
I would never have traded him if I was Chicago. Never. Not even not let alone Seth Jones. It's not like I'm getting Victor Hedman in return. Adam Bokvis is good. Like he's good. And this deal, I don't think for a second Seth Jones is going to perform to $9.5 million out of 7 years. How many years of that contract do you think Seth Jones is going to outperform or play to his deal? Like
probably like 4. Yeah.
There's going to be so many different. If you want to nitpick, which is bad, there's going to be a lot of players out there in the next few years that are going to make less money than Seth Jones that will outplay.
Yeah, 100%.
And that happens a lot, right? You can nitpick and see, but
look, these defensemen are going to be asking for so much money now. If they look at Seth Jones, they'll show their numbers. They'll be like, Jeff Petrie will be like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, but Jeff Petrie, that's why you locked him up.
Yeah,
Jeff Petrie was on the open market. Oh my God. If Jeff Petrie hit unrestricted free agency right now this season, if he was a UFA, he'd make like $8 million.
Easy. Yeah.
I mean, the guy's consistently putting up 40-something points a season. Consistently. And he's great defensively. Yeah. Underlining numbers too.
Yeah, this started maybe like because Seth Jones, I remember when the Ryan Johansson trade happened. Seth Jones, he just got drafted.
Promising.
And then he got traded for Ryan Johansson. If
he didn't just get drafted, I'm pretty sure he played in Nashville, Jones.
maybe like one. Okay, no,
Maybe
not
2 seasons.
just
I
yet, but like, he
forget.
was super young. I remember like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How old? He's
Oh,
26. How
wait,
long?
whoa,
How
yo,
long
my
has he
bad,
been
my bad, my
Columbus?
bad. Yeah, he played 3 seasons in Nashville.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
But like, I remember he was super young, and he
Still
got traded, and then like at the time, Ryan Johansson was like the older guy.
popping off in
Yeah,
Columbus, and now
and
Ryan
then
Johnson's
but it was,
dog
if you think
shit
about it, it was a pretty fair trade.
at time. Yeah, 1-for-1. Yeah, but only time
So
could tell. Um, yeah, 9.5 though. That's too much. That's just
yeah,
too much. That's exaggerated. Anyway, we'll see. I really doubt the Hawks. It's going to make them competitive. I don't think it's going to change anything from the team. I think they're still going to be the same team, unless Seth Jones takes another step that I've never seen before. But I'll put my money that he doesn't. Anyway, the trades will most likely continue, Eric, throughout the week. We'll see other big trades. Hopefully, a Jack Eichel trade coming soon that we can really talk about. And more signings. And then the free agency will come, Eric. Free agents will get picked up. Hopefully, Montreal uses that money to their advantage, gets a top 4D. We'll see. We'll see what happens in a full week's time in the NHL world and NBA. And then who knows what's going on. I think that's basically the offseason. We'll talk about the off
yeah,
seasons.
a lot of off season.
So thanks for listening to the Chtib Zhang show. It has been episode 30. Next week will be episode 31. Like I said, we'll probably still be talking shell. Deals will be made, blah, 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 like I said. So thanks again for listening. If you're listening on Spotify or watching on the YouTube channel. And we'll see you guys in the next episode next week. All right. Peace. Ciao.
Peace
See you
out.
next time.